Hello, and welcome to the I'd Rather Be Right podcast and YouTube channel. We are on YouTube now. YouTube Shorts is where it's at. It is currently Tuesday, January, I don't know what today is, 7th? 10th. Tuesday, January 10th. The 7th was, I think, on Sunday. And we're here for our predictions episode where you're going to see some amazing talents where Nate and I, predict the future almost perfectly. Nate's not going to be quite perfect. I'm probably going to be more than perfect to make it up. And then when you average it out, we're both perfect. Isn't that right?
Yeah, that's right. I suck, and you're great. You're better than great.
See, I'm so
see.
right. I'm playing 5D chess, right? So I'm like Trump over here. I'm playing 5D chess, and even if it seems like I'm wrong, right?
You're right.
I'm actually right.
You're
Just
right.
ask me why. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you're probably gonna say I'm wrong about some of these things I'm gonna predict, but actually it's 5D chess time, and I'm actually right. So,
There you go. That's the way it is.
Exactly. Yeah. We're gonna get into it. Like, for example, you can always be right even if you're wrong.
Yep.
And that's the lesson I want you to leave here today with. Is don't let your dreams be dreams.
All right, let's get into it.
Someone told that to Trump, and he took it too literal.
So we gotta let's jump into it because we don't have a whole lot of time. We're not going to get through the whole thing this time. I think it's probably going to be a two-part episode just because we only have 45 minutes or so today. So let's just jump right in. I think, right? Do we need a whole lot of? So for those of you guys that don't know, we have an elaborate prediction model. It's going to be on if you watch on YouTube, you'll be able to see it. It's basically an Excel sheet. We use Google Sheets, but it's an Excel sheet where we basically assign points based on the question. It's a yes or no question. If it's yes or no and we predict that right, we get points. But we also put a confidence level. So what are the odds we think it's actually going to come true? And then we get points based on that. The more confident we are, the more points we get. So there's for instance, the difference between 90 and 100 is significant. A 9% confidence or 100%. I think we have the requirement. I think we're going to you have to assign at least 5 points to 100% or 0%, basically certainty. And different questions are weighted different amount of points, and those are all shown here. And as it gets added, it adds to the total points per category, and then it's going to eventually add to the total points, and we'll find out who wins in a year or so. So that's the basic idea. And I think we'll jump right in. So the first section of questions are all on international affairs questions, and the first one is, will China invade Taiwan? So that's a pretty big one. And so, Luke, what do you think? Will China invade Taiwan?
I'm going to say no on will China invade Taiwan.
Why do you think that's the case?
I think it doesn't make a lot of sense. I mean, it can make emotional sense. If China wants Taiwan, right, then maybe they'll try to take Taiwan. But for one, China doesn't have necessarily a history like Russia does of just like taking the land around them. At least not, in recent history. So that's one thing. The second one is, I think you got to reevaluate after watching Russia try to take Ukraine. It's not easy, even if the United States has done. We didn't do super great when even we have attacked an entrenched enemy. It's really hard to do, and the island of Taiwan is extremely defended. And we're gonna send. We also have practice now sending logistics and equipment and weapons, across the planet, essentially to help a smaller foe. We're better than we were before Russia attacked Ukraine. We've had practice in this, and now we can help out Taiwan just like we helped out Ukraine. And I think if you're China, you're gonna have to double think. You have to think twice before. Oh man, should we really try to attack Taiwan right now.
Okay. I basically agree with you. I definitely think it's a no. I'm not sure. I'm not sure my confidence level on that. So last time I think it was about 90% for both of us. I don't remember exact amounts, but it was about 90% for last year. I actually think the odds have gone up a little bit. I think things are a little bit more unstable, even though there's still a long fight in Ukraine, and I think that's rethinking it. I just don't think I'm as confident that they won't do it as I was maybe at the time when we questioned it middle of last year, sometime after Russia invaded Ukraine, and that's when we added to the question. I don't know if I recall. So I think they've had some time to watch it. I think it's still really, obviously Ukraine's doing very, very well, but I think there's a lot more of a global fight that's going on. That's basically a lot of it's economic fight, and I think taking over Taiwan is part of that, especially because they control all the chips. So I think that China's wanted to do it for a while. I think there's a decent chance they do it, probably better than I think I said 90% last time. I'm probably like 85% sure this time, maybe 80%, but I think probably just 5% less. I'd be more like 70% if we're asking like the next 5 years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's funny. I was just thinking about that. I was like, we should do a 5-year one, because I do think, especially if, let's say, other countries get involved in this Ukraine-Russia conflict and generalized war kind of just starts breaking out everywhere, I think the odds go way up that China just says, all right, let's go now.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go with 85%, just a little bit less than last year. I'm just a little less confident this year, so I'd probably 85% of it. What's your confidence level?
I think I'm going to go with 90%. I'm a little bit more confident than you, although even that makes me a little uncomfortable. I think it's fine. I'm going to go with 90%.
Okay. Will Russia use nukes? That's the next question.
Do you?
I'll say no. I really don't see it's like. I don't think it's like.
You don't see it happening. The one thing giving me pause is, which we get to I think after this, but is Putin's deteriorating health, and depending on how much it's deteriorating, how does he want to pull out all the stops? That's kind of the only thing that gives me pause. Is he does seem like the man who would, he might just push the button just because he's running out of time.
You think he would just push the button because he's running out of time?
Like, because he just wants to, he wants to accomplish his goals, and he just cannot stand the embarrassment of not accomplishing his goals. And then, he just he definitely seems like a man who doesn't really care about fallout, political fallout, let alone nuclear fallout. So
he definitely seems desperate.
Yeah, exactly. He seems desperate, and without maybe a ton of time, I'm still gonna say no. But my no is like,
I'm gonna go with no 90% here. So.
Right? Yeah, I'm gonna go with no 75%.
I think it's the problem is if you do that, you're bringing probably the whole country, the whole. I think the whole world gets involved. Yeah, I think it's really hard for it not to.
See, I don't know. I wonder, like, if it's just a small tactical nuke on some strategic base or city, he might get away with it.
Yeah. I'm just highly skeptical. I think it's really unlikely.
Like, I don't think he's gonna shoot nukes at us, but
like even 90%, that's a 10% chance. That seems really high for me.
Fair enough. Yeah.
In fact, I'm gonna go 92%. I'm gonna give it a little edge here.
Yeah, give it a little edge. If I lose, then this is probably the reason why.
That's a really big, because it's a 5-point question, guys. For those of you that can't see it, so that's a pretty big question. So I'll try to remember to do that when I read the questions out. What the point level was. So the next question is: will Ukraine defeat Russia, meaning that Russia ceases hostilities? And that's a 4-point question.
Yeah. In a 12-month time span seems kind of. Some of these should be 5-year questions, but in a 12-month time span. Maybe I could see it, but if they just cease hostilities, kind of just draw the lines where they are right now, will that happen in the next 12 months? I think
yes.
no.
Yes, to be
You
clear,
think
because
yes?
the next question will be, will they do it?
Right.
Will they cease hostilities
And then
and Russia
give
gets
that-
back
and then-
land they seize,
Right.
not including Crimea. So these
So
are
basically, do
and
I
that's
think
both, these are
they'll-
both 4
yeah.
questions.
Do I think they'll stop shooting at each other? I do not.
So you're of the no. I'll spoil alert myself. Also say I'm no. It's mainly for the same reason. It's a short time frame. I'm skeptical that we get it done in that time frame.
We're sending my reasoning is this.
I think it's possible.
The United
It's certainly
States,
possible.
It's certainly possible for sure. But the United States is sending a ton of weaponry over there. And I don't know if we would be doing that if we thought it was going to end anytime soon. We're starting to send strikers, tanks.
I mean, honestly, that can help end it, though, right? Because that can be like,
yeah.
the Russians go, they're not going to stop here. So, and they're going to bring more and more firepower, and this is getting more and more expensive. So, I mean, it could be as much of a strategy to get it to end as anything.
Yeah.
So.
I see it, though, taking probably 18 to 24 months.
So
really
you're more in a
probably
2-year
end.
time frame. And I'm sort of with you there. I think I'm probably 65% sure of this is probably where I put it.
Yeah. That I think you're about right on there. I don't want to do exactly that. I like to change it. I'm going to say no. So no, they won't stop. I'm going to say about. I think I'm going to go. That I don't know, but then am I the exact same sureness of Russia using nukes? I might have gone a little too low on that.
No, I mean if you are, you are. I mean I think that sometimes you just have to go with it.
Yeah,
I kind of hate the 64.5 or something like that. Cause that just annoys me. Like you're basically just doing it just to make sure.
Yeah,
wins.
I'm about 70. I would say I'm about 70.
Yeah. Okay, so sorry. Yeah, I'm probably a little higher if I had to be honest, but I don't know how much higher. 66. Why not? Oh, 66.6.
There you go.
The devil and his nukes.
Heck yes.
I'm gonna. Yeah, I think we should do it. There we go. I mean, we are talking about the devil, the real little devil here. Okay, so now presumably this should go up. For both of us, should be no, because the next question is: will Ukraine defeat Russia, meaning that Russia ceases hostilities and Russia gets back land they seize, not including Crimea? So we both should be no's. It wouldn't be logical if we weren't. So I can fill that in for you. And we should both think there's a higher probability of this because it's more contingent. So that's going to be a higher probability of a no.
Yeah. This to me again comes down to timeline. I think hostilities
85%.
will stop. Yeah, that's pretty high. I think hostilities will stop, and then there's going to be who knows what kind of long. It might even be legal battle. I don't know what it'll even look like. I do think Ukraine will eventually get their land back, but how exactly they get their land back could be a very long process. Clearly no.
85. I'm going to go 82%. And the reason is I did avoid 80. My first thought was 80, but I avoid 80 because 80 is the Pareto principle, and it feels too easy to go with. So I like to pick on either end. So which side am I going to push it a little bit? So 82. I'll do 82.
We could be really wrong on these. It'd be I could definitely see us being completely wrong, but I'm pretty confident that they're probably not going to push them out. So
I'm giving 18% chance that it happens. That's not exactly. I mean, that happens a decent amount if you play a decent amount of poker.
Yeah, almost 1 in 6, 1 in 5.
So
it's
basically about the same amount of times that pocket aces loses from the beginning. It's about 80.
Right.
It's about 20% of the time. And that happens a good amount because trust me, if you play poker, you can remember all those times. They're pretty easy. They happen so often. It's just sort of like a.
Yeah.
So I'm actually not saying it's not possible here.
I'm a little less or a little more confident than you. I think I'm like 87%, something like that.
87. Okay. 87%. You went a little the other end. Okay. All right. The next question is: will any Americans be killed? Specifically, we're talking about in the Russia-Ukraine war here, and this is a 1-point question. And then there's a follow-up question that's related, so keep that in mind. Will any American contractors be killed? And that's a 2-point question. I had this question when you weren't there yesterday because I thought, we should probably ask that question to start.
Yeah.
So, my thinking why we wanted to add that originally Luke was asking, will any American contractors be killed? And the reason he was thinking that's a pretty big deal, like an American contractor who's there on the government contract, maybe is showing them how some of his weapons work or something like that. And that might seem more like an act of war against the United States or something like that, or force us to. And I was like, well, what about just any Americans? He's like, well, that's not what I'm talking about. But I'm like, there's a lot of journalists and stuff there, so
True. I
think we should probably ask the question.
Yeah. I know how I feel on these. What do you think?
No, 51%. I honestly don't know. I literally don't know. I mean,
no, it's fine. I was going to say yes, about 51%.
And by the way, I don't think either of us can do 50%. I didn't say that rule. I think that rule should exist.
Yeah, no, but I was going to say, I do think it's going to happen. But I do think it's like 55%. Like, it's not. I don't really know, but I'm more yes than I am no for sure.
I mean, the problem is I just don't know how many are there. I don't know how often they're in the line of fire. I'm not even sure we're going to send American contractors over, so I'm still a no. I imagine you're probably.
I'm even more of a yes on that one.
No, you would have to be less of a yes because this would include that.
More of a yes. Because I think because there's going to be more American contractors than there would just be normal Americans. I think they're going to be more in the combat zones.
But American contractors are Americans, so that would be more likely. I see what you're saying.
I'm not counting them the same at all. I see what you're saying. I mean, I guess if you classify them both as Americans, I mean, I think it's more likely a contractor gets killed. You're right. That's why I didn't want to just ask if Americans get killed, because I think it's very likely an American contractor gets killed. So then I guess I think it's very likely that an American gets killed. Sure.
Yeah. So start with answer me how likely you think American contractors will be killed. Start that, and we'll go back to the other question.
Probably like 70%.
Okay, 70%. So you're more than 70% sure that any Americans will be killed.
Yeah.
71, it could be 75, it could be 80, but it wouldn't be any less.
Yeah, probably 75 then. Yeah.
Okay.
Probably an American contractor. Any other American? I don't think it's very high, but yeah.
And let's see, I'm no 51%, and that's even less likely that an American contractor will be killed. So no, 65%, I guess. Probably what I would do. I feel like there's probably a good amount of Americans that are just there. Like journalists specifically would probably be the ones I would.
Yeah, when you said journalists, I was like, yeah, that's true. I wasn't thinking about journalists.
Okay. All right. Will any other countries become actively involved in the Russia-Ukraine war? This is by the way, a 5-point question, people. So this is a big deal because if that happens, we might be into World War II.
You mean 3?
Sorry, World War III. Yeah. So I'm gonna go with no. By the way,
interesting.
I'll tell you the amount later. Because I think both sides are very much trying. Well, Russia's trying to bait us into it, and we've done a very good job for a whole year of staying out of it, outside of providing arms, and including to how we deliver weapons and what weapons we deliver, and what we include with those weapons, and all of that is to avoid us from being actively engaged. And I think that's the point. Like, we will probably continue to sell arms. NATO people will continue to sell arms, but if he goes into NATO, he's making a big mistake. He's going to that is World War III right there. And if he tries to hit another country, the other thing is I think he's just busy dealing with other people. He's busy dealing with the Ukrainians already. So to bring someone else into it is a really actively, but he's trying to bait us into it so that he has justification, I think, is most of it. And we're not falling for it. Biden's done a very, very good job of not falling for it. I'd be very, very different if we had a president-elect and to think about but Biden has a year-long track record of avoiding this and doing in my opinion, a very, very good job of this. And I'm shocked by people who think that he's doing a bad job. And people are like, oh, how all this money we're spending on Ukraine. We're not spending that much. Like, it's a drop in the bucket for our budget. And
they're also loans, by the way.
And let's just imagine we just never get paid back. I'll just give people that credit because I think we probably will. We've talked about that for other reasons, right? But this is like the cheapest war we've ever, quote unquote, fought because we're not fighting it.
Yeah.
and they're doing a very good job. The Ukrainians are real fighters, and I was like, if we could win every war this way, especially a justified war, which was one in my opinion, it's a justified from supporting the Ukrainians. Like they definitely were, unless you just believe anyone who used to have a claim on land should be able to invade you. It should be able to invade a country. I think it's justified, clearly. So sure. I think it's a justified war. I think they're doing very well, and I think we're doing it for cheap. We're doing it for God. I mean, and if the Ukrainians win this, the odds of World War III go down drastically. Not just now, but for long foreseeable future. So this is like maybe the best war we've fought in years, and because we're not fighting it, if that makes any sense, and they're winning, and we're paying so little to do it. So so the idea that he's suddenly going to make a big misstep on his part, I think is low. So then it's a question of whether or not Putin makes a misstep, and I think he won't actively do it. He's just trying to bait us into do it. So.
That's interesting. I was thinking of it from a different perspective, like Chechnya declares war on Poland or something like that, and then goes in, some like kind of ancillary, but like sort of like almost another satellite war that then kind of like escalates.
I mean, someone that Putin has control over, who pretty much put in the people and say, you got to go fight these guys. Takes them the heat off me. Yeah, I guess I could see that. But the problem with that is I think everyone's watching this bloody ass war, and the Ukrainians are fighting a lot harder. I think person would have to be a little bit insane to do it, and the people who went along with it would have to be a little bit insane to go along with it. Presumably, the other people aren't as blocked out on information as the middle of nowhere Russia, who are just getting their Russian propaganda. So I'm I'm still pretty much over the no.
Yeah, I think I'm definitely leaning towards no. It's just like the remote possibility. So then what's the remote possibility? 15% probably. So then I'm probably a no of 85%.
Yep. Yeah. I'm at least 75, and I'm probably higher than that. So the question is how much higher. Actually, I think I'm maybe not quite 90. See, I really was 85 as well too. I'm just going to do it. Sorry.
That's all good.
No one will make any points on this one. We'll either be right or wrong. As a team, we're going to be right or wrong on that one.
Heck yeah. These are scary because if we're wrong on a lot of these, it's like, oh man, things are getting really bad.
Really bad. Yeah. Will Putin say that he has cancer? That's the 2-point question.
Tough. This one's sort of tough. I don't know why, but I feel like, I don't know. I guess he probably wouldn't announce it. Like, why would he announce it?
Yeah, I'm a no. I'm definitely a no. I'll tell you that.
Yeah. I mean, I'm kind of thinking like, will we, I guess if he dies of natural causes, which is the next question, we could probably get some evidence that he had cancer.
And then they might admit it.
But will he say it as probably a very stoic Russian type of dude? He probably won't say it. No.
I'm with you as well. What's your percentage?
90%.
Yeah, I'm 95%. I just don't see what the reason is that he would admit it, unless he had the benefit. Unless he's falling down or clearly getting chemotherapy in front of television cameras. I'm not sure why he'd admit it. Right? I just don't know what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough.
Will Putin die of natural causes, including but not limited to cancer?
In the next 12 months. You're a no in the next 12 months?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I said no 90%. I just don't think it's very likely. I mean, probably even less than that. It's probably 95. Because, I mean, it's just a weird, I mean, it's like an option, right? It's like a financial option. It's 1 year. I mean, I think he can survive 1 year of whatever he's got.
I mean, people have been saying he's had cancer.
Some of the best medical care. He's probably got the best medical care in Russia you can get. Whatever that is, right? So.
And people have been saying he's probably has cancer for over a year, which means if he does have cancer, he doesn't have stage 4 yet, or at least hasn't for the last year, which means it's probably a longer affecting cancer. So the chances of him dying in the next 12 months, probably highly unlikely. So I'm going to say no, 90%.
No, 90%. Okay. The next question is, will Putin die of unnatural causes? I'm still a no here.
Yeah.
This is 4 points, by the way. The last one was 3. This is 4.
Yeah. I thought this would have happened earlier, but now that we're kind of into the groove, it seems less likely like it's going to happen. And how would you do it? It'd be very difficult to, I think, get to him. So I'm going to say no as well.
Okay. What do you think the odds are?
I mean, it is Russia, so it's hard to go too high, but 92%.
92.
But he's the one killing all of the other Russians.
I'm going to come down on mine and go 90%.
Yeah.
I think if there's any way he dies, that's probably the way he dies.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. But he's taking out everyone who could do it.
Yeah.
A lot of people falling off buildings over there.
Yeah. So I would still say Putin die of unnatural causes, 90%, 4 points. I'm a little less confident of that. I think it could 10% chance, someone gets away with it somehow.
Sure. Even if they don't get away with it, right? Like, they just make it happen. Yeah.
Okay, so the next section, so we just did international affairs questions. The next set of questions are domestic affairs questions. And I think once we're done with this, we're probably done for the day because you got to get out of here. So, all right. So domestic affairs questions. Besides Trump, will any Republican announce they are officially running for president? Exploratory committees do not count.
So what is it? 2023. So the election is next year, right?
Yeah.
So we're going to know pretty soon.
It's a 1 point question, by the way. 1 point question for those listeners.
Yeah. I'm going to say, I mean, the answer has to be yes, right?
That's what I would go to as well. So I'll just put it in yes. For both of us. Apparently, I have the wrong color here.
Someone's going to run.
Yeah. So.
And the longer someone doesn't announce, right, the higher your chances go up if you do run.
Yep. And by the way, these
sort of like
I screwed up these formulas over here. People on YouTube will be able to see it, but I'm going to delete all. I'll delete all these. These are not real points yet. I apparently just screwed up. So.
It's all good.
Anyway, I'll fix that. Okay, but yes. So yes. And did you? How much? What do you think?
I mean,
I think Ron DeSantis has to announce this year, right? I think he has to.
I don't know if he has to. I mean, I wonder if he will.
2024 seems to. So Trump is weak, very visibly.
Yeah.
He hasn't even left Mar-a-Lago since he's announced. He
true.
lost during the midterms. There's no way I don't see this happening. Like I would say, if there's gonna
100%,
this is not gonna be my 100% one because I've got 100% ones coming in under the Bitcoin cryptocurrency ones. But I'm gonna go like 95%. I just don't see how someone doesn't announce.
Yeah, I mean, I'll put it 99%. Yeah.
You want to make this specifically? You want to make this your 100% one because you got to have 5 points of 100%. You can make this one.
What do you mean? I don't understand that rule. What do you mean?
So, because it's not just you got to do like five total points. So you can do.
That's what you're saying. Oh yeah, I mean, you can put 100% there. Yeah, I mean, I'm very confident that.
So like you can do 5 1s or 2 3s or 4 and 1 or whatever you want.
Yeah, we can do 100% there.
I mean, you can also look after this one before our next one, and if you want to change that to 99 or 95 and make another 100% somewhere else, feel free.
Sure.
I looked at them last night and I was like, I'm just going to do it under cryptocurrency Bitcoin ones. I'm pretty sure that's where I was going to go. So, will any female Republican announce they are officially running for president? Exploratory committees don't count. So this would be Nikki Haley. And Liz Cheney are probably the two biggest likely ones. I don't know if there's any other ones I can even think of that will probably run.
I was super confident like last year. This year, I'm less confident that it's going to happen.
This is obviously less likely to happen than your previous one.
Especially if Ron DeSantis is going to run. And I'm sure like they would know, right? Like the people in the know would know more than like we would.
Yeah.
And if I was a female Republican versus Trump, easy, right? Versus Ron DeSantis, a lot harder. So I'm going to say no on this one.
I'm going to say no. Okay. What are your odds?
Not super high because I mean someone could just throw their hat in there, but I'm going to say 60%.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not even sure if I'm a yes or no, so I'm probably right near 51, 55% either direction because I think there's a decent chance Liz tries it, but I think she's more likely
Yeah,
to do something else
yeah,
and more likely to just be a thorn in some side. There's Nikki Haley who really wants to, though. So I'm probably going to go yes, 55, thinking Nikki Haley might do it. I wouldn't
yeah.
go
Well,
55. We'll go 53%. 53%, yes.
a lot of the
That's
interesting
about
things
it.
about these predictions is if certain ones go right, then the other ones become either more or less likely. They're kind of like a lot of
100%.
them are connected.
So you have to think about that because if I get this one right, then I already got 15 right.
Right.
Right. Which means should I raise my thing? It's already 95. It's pretty high. I'll give it 96. There we go.
Yeah.
Boom. 96 to the because I think it's a decent chance Nikki announces. Will Joe Biden officially announce he is running for president?
I mean, why wouldn't he? He's pretty old, I guess. But I feel like
I think he's old. I think there's a decent chance he tries to hand it off. I think that was originally his plan, but politicians get in, they actually want to stay a little longer. But I don't know. I think there's good reasons he wouldn't. There's good reasons he would.
yeah.
I'd probably lean yes. I think it's more likely he announces than he doesn't. But I think I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I could also see him handing it off to someone, and just saying, Pete Buttigieg is the future of the Democratic Party and getting the hell out. I could see him doing that. Especially if it may depend on how good or bad this year goes and how much he wants to spend the rest of his life fighting with the Republicans until he dies. Because there's a good chance he dies in office. He's getting up there.
That's the thing. Yeah. I almost think I would see him saying yes and maybe even swapping out Kamala for vice president. I don't know, but it's like if he runs again and wins again, he could very likely die. I mean,
and that's the real problem. Kamala is not really well liked by anyone, I don't think.
And she's liked even less now than she was.
And I don't think she's a good chance of winning. She's really not good speaking off the cuff, terrible at it, actually. And I'm not sure. So I don't really know who the future of the Democrat Party is, except for maybe Pete Buttigieg. And even that, I'm not sure. So I don't know what. So I think that's a factor. I think if Kamala was more beloved, I could see him walking away a lot easier.
Yeah, she's really dropped the ball over these past couple years.
So. Yeah, she got basically put in the back room. She just disappeared because she was so bad at talking in front of cameras.
Yeah.
She was as out of it as Biden is, but less useful and less of an excuse of being old and always being that way.
Right. So, yeah. No, she's supposed to be sharp prosecutor, right? Like DA or whatever she was.
Yeah.
What is wrong with her? Yeah. So I'm going to say yes, almost 100%, not 100%, but Joe Biden will announce he runs. He'll at least announce it. He'll certainly announce it, right?
As I said, I'm leaning yes, but I don't know how high.
I'm going to say I'm pretty. I mean, so what's the?
By the way, I don't know if I told you guys, everyone, this is 1 point question. So we're not.
What's the counter argument? Right? How likely is it that he doesn't?
He waits. He gets frustrated, decides to hand it off to someone. I think there's a decent amount of reasons not to.
So would he wait till next year to announce?
Maybe next year, or just or hands it off to someone. Man. The thing is, he doesn't even need to announce because, the thing is, he can wait longer because he's a presumptive nominee.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah, he's a presumptive nominee. He's a presumptively going to run again. He can hold it. He can hold it at some point by 2024 early, he'd have to announce. So, sure. I guess that makes the odds go up a little bit because, you'd want a little more time than that probably. So I would maybe late in the year I could see him doing it.
Yeah, but he could wait till the beginning of next year too. He
maybe I'm 75%. I think he could.
Yeah, that's a little higher.
75%.
70. Yeah, that's a little higher than I was thinking. But yeah, because I think there's a pretty good chance.
I think the problem with waiting to 2024 is you're starting to lose a lot of time because you're not even. It's November of 2024 when the next election is, right? So he's
right, but like you're saying, he is the presumptive nominee. So.
Yeah, I still think it's probably 75. It's probably if he's going to do it, I think he does it in 2023. Let me put it that way. If he does it, I think he's going to do it in 2023.
Fair enough.
I'd be skeptical that he holds off to 2024 the more I think about it. It's possible. He can definitely do that if he wanted to. Okay. Will Democrats end the filibuster? We asked that last time. It's a 4-point question.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with no.
We vote. You went no. You went no 100% last time without even trying, and without even requiring it. So I'm no. I'm not 100%, but I am 90. I'm probably actually pretty damn close to 90, because I'm 95%. I think. I mean, I just don't see why they would do it if they still got the Republicans in the House now. I think it was 90% last time. I'm 95% now. I'm a lot more skeptical. I mean, again, I'm saving my 100 for cryptocurrency, but otherwise I might consider it.
Yeah, I would do 100. I don't know. Like, I don't know what else. I don't
do
remember
100%.
all the questions. So
if you do 100% right here, if you do 100%, you're closed out right here. You've hit your 100% quota, because that's 1 + 4. You're 5.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I don't know. I mean, I would be 100%, but like, I don't know what else is what other questions are coming. But I'm pretty sure.
Okay, then why don't you look further down after the before the next call, and if you want to change this to 95, 99, something like that, and then do 100% somewhere else, you can. But I'll put you 100% for now. Okay, will there be a government shutdown? 4-point question here.
I don't remember the history, but I mean, we've had a few, right? In the last,
we've had a few recently.
Decades.
Yeah. Especially anytime Republicans are, So it became more common. It started happening sort of in Clinton occasionally, and then it became very common since,
especially under
Democrats
Obama.
and Republicans. Under Obama and anytime Republicans got control, they pretty much did it. So that's why I'm going to say yes. I think there's a good chance that the House holds up things.
Yeah, it's it's just 1 year though. I'm going to say yes. I mean, we have crazy.
The budget comes up in 2023. We're going to have the budget come up in 2023 October, so it's going to have to come. It's going to come up. We only have one shot at. I mean, it's a one and done. It's not like it's going to be multiple times. So I'm of the. I'm like 75% sure. Maybe that's a little high. 70%, I would say.
Yeah, I'll go with. I just think about that, but. There's a lot of concession. I don't know. Do they work well together? I'm going to go like 78% is how I feel.
78. Okay. 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 The next question is the 5-point question. Will the United States raise the debt limit?
I feel like we always raise the debt limit.
Republicans have used it as a fighting thing, including Ted Cruz, who was under Senate, though, not House. And the House right now is crazy, and they are taking things right to the limit.
I would say yes, we do.
Okay. What are your odds?
How likely, though? I mean, do they do it every time? Is it like guaranteed?
It's done it every time. If they don't, it would be pretty insane.
Yeah. So then, I'm like 95%.
But we've come very close to not doing it.
To not doing it, yeah.
No, sorry, 95. Also, if I can type right. I'm actually, yes, and this could really hurt me, but I'm probably, say, 65, 70. I'll go 70%. 70%. I just think there's a better chance than people give it credit for. These people are crazy.
Sure.
These people are nutty. And the real problem is, actually, maybe I'm a little higher, because I'm actually saying, will they do it? Not will they threaten. They'll definitely threaten not to do it. That's almost certain.
Right.
The question is, do they drive it? Does Kevin McCarthy have enough control of these people crazy enough to actually see what happens?
They might be.
Okay, you went 95. I'm going to go 85. How about that? I'm going to lose with game theory. I'm not going to lose as many points on this. Let's put that. But I still think there's a decent chance that they don't do it. And if I wasn't playing game theory, I had 5 points here, and I don't want to lose. I don't want to be so far off from you that I'm just destined to like. Honestly, if you ask me this without having the game theory involved, I'm probably 51%.
Oh wow,
55, 75, maybe up to 70. But like, it's just like these guys are crazy. These guys are insane. And if the question was framed, will the Republicans threaten to not raise the debt limit, which we can ask if we want to, that would be almost certain. I would put that as what you. Okay, let's insert it and it'll make this a 1-point question, because I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Sure.
Because then they do it every time. Will the Republicans in the House, how about that? Because I don't really care what Senate
Sure.
does, and the House threaten to not raise the debt limit. It has to be more than one person. It has to be some sort of concerted effort where we're like, yeah, it looks like there's a couple of them or enough of them to get away with this. I'm going to go yes, and I'm going to go at like 95%. Like, I'd just be a little shocked if they don't.
Yeah, I mean, if they didn't, it'd almost be a dereliction of their duty to try to negotiate something for themselves, right? So
yeah,
I would. I'm gonna say I'll copy it. Yes, 95.
Okay. So I just think like that they do it but they're more apt to do this than the Democrats. The Democrats don't do this very often. The Democrats don't use the don't for it with the debt limit. So that's the thing. Okay, the next question, sort of related to the debt limit. So one of the easiest ways around the debt limit is to, is people think the United States can mint a $1 trillion coin, specifically a platinum coin, by the way. I'll probably put the word platinum in here.
Yeah. So what's the significance of this?
So the idea is that it was mainly for ceremonial coins, and the Treasury it gave them the United States Treasury the right to mint any a platinum coin in any denomination they wanted. So some people have written legal arguments saying the way to end the debt limit is just to tell the Treasury to mint $1 trillion platinum coins and deposit it in the account, in the Fed's account. And therefore, you get around the debt limit. That's the plan. And this is a real serious thing. It's been floated multiple times. It's talked about somewhat seriously. Obviously, Bitcoiners think it's the most insane thing you can possibly do. And proves the very inherent funny nature of money and how money doesn't mean anything. And we think it would be disastrous for money, for the whole belief of, what is your money backed by? Like, just sort of gets kind of clownish the minute you can print a $1 trillion platinum coin and drop it in the Fed to resolve this problem. Because the platinum obviously would not be worth anywhere close to $1 trillion in the open market. So
right.
The question is, will they do it? And that's the reason I'm asking this question. And that's been floated by serious reporters and lawyers and stuff. And Bitcoiners are just astounded that anyone would even consider this as a serious way to solve the problem. There's a better way to solve it. There's a better way to solve it, which I guess we could add here, which is
what's the better way?
Something like, will
appoint me as king?
Joe Biden ask someone to draft a legal memo to argue that Section 4 of the 14th Amendment renders the debt limit unconstitutional. I'll have to read that to make that make sense. I'll have to read that to you in a second.
Beyond me.
Yeah, I'll put that as a 3 point as well. So that I'll read that. Well, we'll read the Section 4 in a second. But let's deal with the will the United States melt the $1 trillion platinum coin. I'm still of the no, but
yeah,
I think if the Republicans really do go after the debt limit and to the point where they're just tired of it, it's possible this is one of the ways they solve it.
That seems.
But I'm probably no 75.
Financial Armageddon. To me.
We're also we're just in so weird territory. I'll give it a 25% chance. I have no idea. So I'm going no 75.
Yeah, I would say no
higher.
80%. Yeah, if not higher. I've heard it here and there. I mean, that sounds so crazy.
Yeah,
but
part of the problem for you. So there's another way to ask about confidence questions: is how much would more information on this subject change your opinion on it? Which we're not asking, and that way you can kind of figure out what the confidence is about. Oh, I know everything I know, and I'm 50-50, right? Or I just don't know enough about the subject to make an educated guess, so I'm hedging my bets. You're probably 80% partly because you just haven't read as much about this as I have.
No, it seems crazy, but we are in crazy times.
It's crazy. That's exactly, yeah. And it's crazy, and I hate it, and I probably is a lot less likely than 25%, but these people, we live in crazy times. The Republicans are doing weird things. And so I just have to discount for the fact that we're doing for insane stuff. So I'm going to read the 14th Amendment, Section 4, 14th Amendment. I'm going to read it real quick. I'll post it on the video for those of you. So this is Section 4 is public debt. The 14th Amendment reads, the validity of the public debt of the United States, authorized by law, including debts incurred for payment of pensions and bounties for services in suppressing insurrection or rebellion, shall not be questioned. But neither the United States nor any state shall assume or pay any debt or obligation incurred in aid of insurrection or rebellion against the United States, or any claim for the loss of or emancipation of any slave. But all such debts, obligations, and claims shall be held illegal and void.
Sure.
So this basically came in after the Civil War. Obviously, they're taking care of their debts. They're guaranteed that they're going to pay those debts out. But you can read it as just, the debt limit is basically on whether or not we're going to pay our debts. That's basically what it is, right?
And that says from a layman's point of view that the government could say, no, we're not going to.
Yep. So, I think the 14th Amendment probably is a better argument to just draft it on the legal memo, because then I don't think it's as crazy as the $1 trillion platinum coin.
No, that's
and so
way
I
more
would say
reasonable.
no. No, I don't know how much more likely this is, but I'll make it at least 70. It's more reasonable. I don't know if it makes it more likely, but I'm going to give it 70% chance. No, we don't draft a legal memo, but we probably should, and then end this issue. That's what I would do.
So you think they were more likely to print the $1 trillion coin than do that?
No. I'm saying, will they do it? Will Joe Biden ask it? So it's more likely that they
oh yeah, it's more likely. Yeah, I agree. That seems a lot more likely. How much more likely?
Do it, because I don't think, because they've just been fighting over this forever and no one's done it. And I'm like, you could just look at this amendment and argue that that's the point.
Again, I don't know a ton. I'm going to say no, because I don't know a ton. I'm going to say no 65%. Give a 25 or 35% chance. But that's one of those things where more information would, maybe change it.
Yeah. Let's go to find the student debt. Okay, so last question of domestic affairs, and then we're going to get out of here for the night so you can get done. Will SCOTUS find that the student debt cancellation by Biden is unconstitutional?
So did they pause it?
The Supreme Court of the United States, for those of you that don't know. So yes, they paused it, and they're saying we don't have to pay until they determine whether or not his debt cancellation, which he did by executive order, is unconstitutional. So whether or not he has the right under to executive order to cancel 10%.
Kind of.
I'm of the well, yes, they'll find it unconstitutional.
You really?
I think they are pretty anti
because it's political.
Orders of this kind of. Well, no, because I think it's probably is an overstep of his executive abilities to just unilaterally do this without.
You're like, no, it's probably unconstitutional.
It's probably just unconstitutional, to be honest. But would it be nice if they didn't find it that way so I could not pay my $10,000? Yeah, but sure. I think that's what they're going to find. No, these are pretty constitutionalist, and they're not particularly friendly to debt cancellation for student loans.
Sure.
So yes, I think it'll be politically decided, and I think Republicans will go that way. But I think that's probably the right answer if we were going to technically care about the Constitution, which neither party really does. So
right. I'll say yes.
I'm not even convinced. I'm not even convinced that many Supreme Court justices do, if I'm being honest.
I agree with that, but the Supreme Court justices definitely don't want to agree with Biden, and if they can use a constitutional argument to not agree with something he did, I think they're pretty likely to do that. And since you're the resident lawyer, I'm going to say yes, 80%. That seems pretty high, but I'm going to go with it.
This is a 3-point question for byway people. So I'm going to go probably 90%. I think it's much more likely that I'm just skeptical, but it's possible. Maybe I'm not high, maybe 85. It's possible. I'm just trying to think who would be trying to think my way through. So Clarence Thomas, if you're being honest, really believes in executive action, but he also doesn't believe in Biden. So he could go over, but can you get the other ones? I'm skeptical. I'll do 85. I won't be that far. Maybe it's possible, but I don't think it's right. I think they're probably just going to find it unconstitutional. If we're being honest, sorry, for everyone listening, I was thinking my way through that.
That's how you do things.
That's how I do things, and I was literally doing that as I'm mumbling on my podcast / YouTube channel. Okay, so we've got what you guys got ahead of you guys for next show. We're going to have. Hopefully, we'll finish them all off. There'll be the economy questions, a bunch of CPI, Fed questions, employment, specific companies, and general market questions. There's a lot about Elon's companies and some Fortune 500 S&P questions. Bitcoin cryptocurrency questions. As you know, we love Bitcoin. And although I don't like talking about crypto generally, they are obviously interrelated. So we will be talking about that. Personal questions. These are like questions about our own lives. I've got a bunch. Luke's only got one. Luke, you get a few more before the next one, so we can ask those. And then there's questions about the podcast / YouTube channel. I'd rather be right questions. So that's more like impacts us and whether or not we can actually end up making money on this thing or not. So that's what we got looking forward. That's what we got coming. Other than that, clearly we were both right because no one's been proved wrong yet this week. So
not yet. We're perfect scores so far.
Perfect scores. Yeah. Woohoo. Enjoy it while we can, guys. And let us know what you guys think about any of these questions. If you guys have any opinions, thoughts, and why you think we were right or wrong, please let us know.
Cool.
All right.
See you guys next time.